So I'm Reverend Evan Smith, and I have been serving for 7 years at Toronto Urban Native Ministry, which is a shared ecumenical partnership between the Anglican Diocese of Toronto and the United Church of Canada.
Wonderful. And Evan, can you share a little bit about what Toronto Urban Native Ministry does?
Toronto Urban Native Ministry was started in 1996 to be a place for Indigenous Christians to gather and worship in a culturally relevant way. Over the years, though, it has become more and more apparent that Indigenous people are suffering in urban centers because of colonization and policies. And so our ministry has really expanded over the years to include lots of work with folks in prisons, families, and individuals who are in hospitals. We do a lot of street outreach. During COVID, we had an encampment sort of pop up around the church that we're housed in. And so we started serving upwards of 150 to 200 meals per day, which has continued for the last year. And we have had to do a lot of support with folks living in encampments.
Thank you. This video is being shared on Good Friday, I'm just wondering about where you see crucifixion in the daily life of your work and your ministry.
I think in my daily work, I see crucifixion in two places. I think one is, knowing that Jesus died at the hands of the state in an unjust and unfair way. I see that happening to the clients and community members that we work with. There are so many policies and procedures that are put in place that explicitly harm folks in our communities, and in the end, often our community members end up dying on the streets, or as a result of overdoses or dying by suicide, directly because of these policies and procedures. I also see it in the workers, because as we know, Jesus, sort of loved the people who were deemed unlovable, touched the people who were deemed untouchable, and did that knowing that it was in direct opposition to all the powers that be. And I think that, especially during COVID, we have seen the way that the folks who are still working on the front line are, supporting people and looking out for people's mental health and their physical well-being and safety and spiritual needs, even though the city of Toronto has been actively working against us every step of the way.
Right. And as you spoke about the policies and procedures and dying at the hand of the state, I wondered about where do you think you would see Jesus in your ministry if he were here on earth with us today? What do you think he would be doing and how do you think he would be engaging?
I think if Jesus was here today, Jesus would be in the encampments, sleeping in a tent, would be carrying the lock zone, helping to save people's lives, would be uh, the outreach workers who are, vaccinating people, who are serving meals, who are drumming and singing and talking with people. Jesus would be, yeah, in the middle of our community. Jesus is in the middle of our community. And I think undiscernible to all of us because Jesus is in everybody that we serve.